Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Blue-Black Tempo with the Stormchaser's talent and Boomerang Basics combo built into it. This is sweet because Boomerang Basics can also bounce problematic creatures like Murktides, of which we have a couple of our own. We're also playing the full 4 Nethergoyf. We just want to get on the table quickly and disrupt with Thoughtseize, Daze, Force, Wasteland, and essentially beat our opponents down as quickly as possible. We've got a couple Mishra's Baubles. These not only trigger the prowess, but they also feed the Goyf and allow us to have an additional type that maybe helps us bring a Goyf back mid-game. Speaking of mid-game, the 4 mana ability on Stormchaser's talent is very relevant. It is technically kind of like an infinite loop with Boomerang Basics. You just get a new Otter every time if the game completely stalls out. I love this combo. And we have 3 Flowstates here. We have tons of sorceries and instants. We are playing a split of 4 Thoughtseize and 3 Boomerang Basics and 3 Ponder. Now, this is the exact build that was just trophied by my friend, True Tempo. You can watch his league as well where he plays through. I've linked that below. I'm going to do my best with this. This is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but not too much. Sideboard cards that he chose, Massacre and Dread of Night, instead of playing just the double Toxic Deluge. He's got a 1 of Null Rod here. He's got an additional Nile Spellbomb on the side, 2 Hydroblasts instead of 3. I like 3 personally. A Brazen Borrower, 2 Force Negations, 3 Consigns. So I would definitely rejigger this, but we're going to see how it goes. I'm just going to play it exactly like he played it. All right, round 1. We're up against a likely Blue-Black Tempo player. In these types of matchups, I just like to get on the table and do stuff as quickly as possible. So I'm going to keep this. I'll grab my Swamp, and we'll Nethergoyf, and we'll eventually find another land so that we can Murk, or we'll just pitch Murk to Force. So we can get a lot of types. Also, Nile Spellbomb is a very relevant card against them. They mulligan to 6. They're a fan of the channel. Shout out to Run1998. All right. So this will be a skill delta matchup. I've already had great luck in getting both of my basics and being on the play. So I'm very favored from here, frankly. And I'll be disappointed if I can't win. But my opponent is a solid player who has recently trophied with Blue-Black Tempo. So cards that are worthy of forcing would be Barragoyf and Murktide. But Murktide is actually not that big of a deal. They're on blue-red. Okay. I could get dazed here if I try to save this. It doesn't actually matter. It'll save it either way. I'm going to do it. I want to keep the beats going. We're on the play. We want to assert ourselves. And what they may not realize is it doesn't matter that they just dazed that. Now this is big enough that it survives. So that's why I felt comfortable doing that. So that was an extremely good exchange for us. Flowstate is close to being on. I could just wipe their graveyard and do an extra damage. And cantrip, I don't hate that. This will be good later, but just doing more damage is fine too. I'm just going to do this before combat. I might draw like a Daze, which would be insane here. A Fatal Push is probably pretty good. And I definitely leave a comment with a timestamp if you think I should have waited on that. But too many times they mark me and we've got pressure. They have to replay their land. If they have a creature, I can push it around Daze. They play a different land. So we know they have a Volk in hand. Also, this is already escaped bolt range. I think this is just brainstorm to see if we can find a land or a Ponder Ponder or Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is good. They are a tempo deck, but Thoughtseize gives us a peek at their hand. I'm going to put back the Fatal Pushes. I'll just draw them anyway. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and try this. We're going to hit them for 4 now and take their best card, hopefully. They're fetching. They brainstorm. So we're forcing them to do a suboptimal timing brainstorm. But they're under the gun from this Nethergoyf, which is about to hit them for 4 more damage. The Thoughtseize will be coming out, but in this exact situation, it's pretty good. It could feed a Murk, but I have a Boomerang Basics. I might actually take a Daze here. I mean, they could have a Bobble. If I take the Cutter, they're not doing a lot. I take the Cutter. I'll come across. Yeah, they've got 3 lands over there, and they are not going to be able to shuffle them away because they use their Brainstorm. I think they're flooded. There's the Volk we knew about. Boomerang Basics. Oh, they're on the Boomerang Basics build. Okay. Well, they could force this on the way back down. I'm not going to do anything that can be dazed here. I think I let them force it on the way back down, and then I can Stormchaser talent. Okay, we're back in. If I Stormchaser talent, they daze, but then they can't daze my Flowstate. Daze pulling a card back to their hand. I think this is a worthy exchange. This also grows my Nethergoyf when it hits the yard if they daze here. They don't daze. Okay. All right. So we have Boomerang for Merc, but they have daze protection or force protection on Merc. But they'll have to tap out completely. Yeah, Merc would be scary here, but not that scary. They have the Merc. Okay, we got a ball game. This is kind of what I worried about. So I could Flowstate and try to bait the blue card out of their hand, then just take a turn off from attacking. The other option is I could Boomerang Basics. They spin their hand. They can't attack, really. I'm going to see if I can get them to daze this. They do daze. Okay. So that's all part of the plan. I know it may seem like a crappy plan, but we knew that they had daze force. So they play anything out here, like a bolt on my, really anything, and we can grow the Merc. They could have a second Merc. That would be a few turns away. Okay. I dropped to 11. I'll play this out. I'm going to attempt it. I think that they probably just force here, but then we hit for 6, and then they can't attack back. Do you have the blue card? They don't have a blue card. Well, that's good for us. Again, like this is all proceeding kind of as I expected. I'm on the play. Bolt is fine. It does get them closer to redeploying. They're at 7. DRC. I can just push this now in case I draw a land. I want to regrow something. Please force blue card this. Okay, they let it go. So they still have the Merc, but they're going to be low in life. And Stormchaser talent is 1 land away. There it is. Let's come across. We know their hand. I'm just going to regrow the Boomerang Basics. I could regrow the Flowstate. I think Flowstate's better. Like, they need another card in their graveyard to deploy Merc. Maybe I should have just gotten the Boomerang Basics because I won't be able to attack them to death. I think I punted. And they did find a cantrip, so they can get a Merc out. They may have another Boomerang Basic. No, we just won. Okay, cool. Yeah, I do think I punted. I think I got greedy. So in this matchup, now Spellbomb comes in. Hydroblast comes in. The Thoughtseizes come out. You don't want to be Thoughtseizing your opponent when they have that stuff. I think Bowmasters is fine here. It's not exceptional in this particular matchup. This is actually a Brazen Borrower matchup in my opinion because bouncing like a token out of play, bouncing a Murktide out of play, good. We can take out the forces completely. I don't hate that. We should keep a force, I guess, because we have an extra card. Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's scary to take out the forces completely. I rarely do that, but I think if any matchup demands it, it's this. This hand is just basic island, ponder, and it's a slower hand. But I am going to play on basics, and I'm going to be disciplined about it. This has good cards. It is a 1-lander, though, so Ponder has to actually deliver us the second lane. We're playing 19 lands. I didn't cut any lands against them. And we're on the draw. Volk. Okay, so this just needs to be pushed, sadly. But then they waste. Come on, give me a land, please. Easy money. Well, I'm going to go ahead and lead with this. That way I can go fetch the basic later. They can daze here if they want to. They don't. That's great for me. The DRC is the best card in their deck. Okay, no Wasteland. Cutter. All right, we could be in for a scary time here if they have a bobble. They don't. That's great. Murktide is a good thing we can do in a few turns. Options. We don't think they have a daze. It might be a good idea to just get the Bowmaster in right now so their cantrips are painful. I suspect they're probably going to try to cantrip. The other option is we play out the Nethergoyf and we just fetch and ponder, and then we've got a pretty beefy thing that blocks. I think I like that. Okay. And now this is going to be a 3-4, so it'll be hard for them to overpower it. All right, we found a Wasteland, which may be good. I mean, these cards are great. Kind of tempted to take the daze here. Boomerang Basics goes on the bottom. I take the daze now. I'm feeling pretty good. Corey can kill you really quickly, though. Yep. And that is an argument for having played out the bowmasters instead. We play the bowmasters, and those canters are essentially locked in their hand. And they have to have a bolt to free themselves. I guess, or a Boomerang Basics. They're probably playing at least 3 Boomerang Basics. It's really good. DRC. I can't stop that. I can ping it next turn, which I think is probably the line. They don't attack. Yeah, I think I have to just play my Wasteland. Let's do this. I'm going to play defensively here. Unfortunately, it looks like they may have a spell. Sometimes you can like waste, but they didn't make the mistake. Okay, prowess triggers, DRC triggers. I'm not going to daze here. I'm going to try to Wasteland them and then daze their next spell. So this trigger happens first. They've got 3 card types, so they find a 4th. They don't. Okay, so we're going to be able to kill their DRC now. Unless they have a daze, in which case they can daze to get another look. And they are setting it up with a brainstorm. So there's nothing we can do. If they daze the Orchestra Bowmaster, I'll just pay for it. They do. Okay, they create a second body. They know what's on top, so they should be able to get Delirium here. They don't. They get a new body. All right, so we pay for it. We're in. DRC down. I am not going to attack here. I'm just going to chill. They have Murktide around days, sadly. I have Murktide, but it won't be as big as theirs because DRC put like a bunch of stuff in their graveyard. Wow, what a great outcome for us. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a bunch of lands over there. So I could go ahead and Stormchaser Talent and Boomerang Basics. That fuels the Nethergoyf. No, it doesn't. I'm almost certain that it's incorrect to waste here and then we want to save it for Stormchaser Talent later. We can Boomerang Basics a token, but that's a complete waste. I think we Stormchaser and we just go like create a lot of bodies and try to get more mana so that we can use the second level here. They may pyro this. They don't. It is kind of scary, but they can actually pyro when I Boomerang Basics this, and then they get a 2-for-1 kind of. I'm going to go for it. Okay, they didn't do it, and we got another land, which is great. So I think we just kick it. Next turn we have Stormchaser, and the turn after that, we're just going to take it really slow. We're the control role in this game. Okay, they're going to combat. They are attacking with that. I can just bring this back if it dies. I can't quite bring it back, but this will be really big. But we don't have a force to protect it. They obviously have like a bolt or something like that. I think it's fine to trade here if I can get a bolt out of their hand. I just like keeping my life total as high as possible against these types of decks. Unholy Heat. Prowess trigger. They are targeting my Bowmaster with that. I can't do anything about that. Bowmaster has already been like a 3-for-1 basically, if you count this Orc Army. So they have a second Prowess trigger that they're going to get here. But my Nethergoyf is now 4-5, so they'll need more than that. Ooh, a second bolt. Okay. Well, that resolves. I'll lose my Nethergoyf, but I can bring him back. He'll still be pretty big. And I have not taken damage, and they used 2 of their remaining cards. Okay. All right. So we're not ready to attack them yet. Let's see what we draw. Okay, another land. Not the worst. I can Nethergoyf, get Nethergoyf back out of the yard. That will leave 3 types. If I waste them, I can actually have a 4th type. I don't hate that. I'm going to go ahead and do this first. Okay, they're floating. I'll go to combat. Again, I'm not going to attack them from this position. I know it may seem like really weird, like you're a tempo deck. Why aren't you applying any pressure? But I just want to respect the fact that they can like pretty easily blow me out here. So we'll exile land, instant, sorcery, creature. We still have the Boomerang Basics in the yard that we can bring back. And then I can add an instant at instant speed. So they don't have good attacks here. Okay, and that's a land. So they're not going to be able to double spell here. So we're getting our reprieve. Draw for turn. It is Brainstorm. Okay. I think I'm actually going to fire off a Brainstorm here just to see what I find. So this grows. The Prowess dude. Hydroblast for the Corey seems like a really good play. We could put back the Daze. I don't think it's particularly useful at this point. And I'll put back this Underground Sea. And once we take out this Quarry, it shrinks the size of their monk. Hydroblast is so freaking good. I love this card. It's just so good right now, especially. Now we can go ahead and play out this Stormchaser talent. It's another trigger. And at this point, I think it's safe to just attack and start getting them dead. I fetch Surveil in the end step. If they attack, I'll probably just let it through because I'm applying a lot of pressure. They fetch Surveil themselves. And of course, I just have this Merc if I need it, but like I'd rather Stormchaser talent get the Boomerang Basics back and bounce one of their permanents or bounce my Stormchaser talent. They bricked and drew a land. That sucks for them. They're not even attacking. All right, let's go get our land. This deck feels very, very good. True Tempo is an extremely experienced Tempo player. He knows what he's doing when he builds decks. Like the 3-ponder thing, I'm like, really? But yeah, this deck feels great. And I think it's probably a favorable matchup too. We dodge the land. Daze is not a good draw. I am going to go ahead and just brainstorm and see if I can turn this Daze into something proactive. This also gives me prowess triggers. Bowmasters is pretty good. I don't need the Daze or the Fatal Push, but I don't have a way to shuffle them away. I could regrow. No, I can't regrow a way to shuffle them away. I think I'll just go ahead and do this. Stormchaser Town. I'm just going to dump my hand and just make these gigantic. I'll go to combat and then I can Bowmasters. Do I even fear them at this point? Should I fear them when they're that low? They may try to trade. We just have so much gas here because we can just get stuff back every turn if we need to. If they're blocking the Otters, that sounds like desperation. I'm going to go ahead and try this. And I'll just ping this one. And if they have something, they can grow them both. It doesn't work. They are super duper dead, basically. I can't think of how they can get out of this. They could have like some sort of like Pyroclasm type card. That would get them pretty far, but they'd still be dead. Bubble. So I don't know what they can draw here at instant speed. GG's. That was a clean 2-0 against Blue-Red Tempo, which is a real deck. It's one of the better decks in the meta. I think Blue-Black is the best overall deck. So I'm not surprised that we 2-0'd them. All right, we're up against Mayor of Pendrell Vale, who's almost certainly on lands. I don't think this hand is very good against lands. It does have Boomerang Basics combo. We can get a basic land, but like Wasteland itself, yeah, technically it's good against lands, but it's not that great. Like the problem is we have double Fatal Push, and Murktide is pretty dead here. I'm gonna mulligan. What I want is like a bunch of Nethergoyfs. This hand's fine. It's not fantastic. I'm gonna put back the Undercity Sewers. I could put back the Daze. I don't want to be dazing them. We played at EW 2023, I think. Okay. I did play against a Lance player there. I was on Beanstalk. So I'm just trying to nail down exactly who this person was. Okay. So obviously it's like lands. I need to be quick. I won in turns. Okay. So I think I'm going to put back Undercity Sewers is what I established. Yeah. And I'm going to keep the Daze. Like it might get something. Yeah, at the time. Okay, so I remember this guy. I remember he had long hair. I remember I played him in like round 7 of Eternal Weekend 2023. Don't ask me how I remember this stuff. Okay, so here, I'm just going to get the basics. I'm not going to mess around against their Wasteland deck. Hopefully we'll get the flow going. This does turn off Daze for the turn. Am I punting by doing this? If they waste me, that's maybe not that bad. Yeah, I need to have Daze just in case they do something degenerate here. I'll just go get that basic island on the second one. And that might come back to bite me, but like if they just crop rotate or something like that, or if they cast a Sphere of Resistance, I need to Daze that. Okay, they're phasing out my dude. He'll be right back. He's like, BRB. I'm going to go dark. Blue? You're playing Tamio in that deck? I don't want to face no Tamio. Okay. Tamio lands. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think actually I want to waste the Yavimaya and hope that they are color screwed. That sounds like a weird play. I know it. And if they just jam Tabernacle here, I lose my dude. Don't have the Tabernacle. Mayor of Pendrell Vale. Okay, they're island cycling. They're going to go get a Trop, and then they'll be able to do their stuff. Yeah, they get a Trop. All right, so here, this is just Stormchaser. I think I'm going to get the island here. The reason is I do fear Tabernacle, and they can't touch my island unless they Ghost Quarter it. If they counter this for some reason, it grows the Goyf. That's why I'm doing it in this sequence. We're going to keep applying pressure. Next turn, we have Flowstate, but it's just a stinky Flowstate. And then the subsequent turn, we have good Flowstate. Okay, they have depths. So we do have a very powerful weapon in our deck for depths, which is... damn. Like, I just remembered like so many facts about this guy. He's part of the New York City crew. He had long hair. He played triple sleeved deck because his deck is very expensive. All right, we can hold this, or we can just play it out. I do want a Flowstate here. It grows the Goyf. It grows my attacker. I want to find a force so I can stop a crop rotation. Hopefully they don't crop rotate right now. I want to take the Brainstorm. I think that's better than doubling up my Goyfs. Because with the Tabernacle, you're penalized for going wide. Thoughtseize isn't where we want to be against a lands deck. All right, I'll attack. If they start doing loam stuff, I do have that covered. Next turn, I have a good Flowstate. If they don't nuke my yard. I don't think this is a good matchup. I think this is a mediocre matchup. But it's probably like a 45-55. They are definitely favored. They have the crop rotation. I think we're dead here. Oh, their depths goes away. They may have the ley line, unfortunately. Yeah, now they just ley line it back. And I'm going to have to find a Boomerang Basics now. But no, I won't even be able to stop it with Boomerang Basics because they won't do it sorcery speed. Oh, well, they did. Do they have a skateboard? What's going on here? All right, so if I can find Boomerang Basics, I can survive. Come on, Boomerang Basics. Force was a turn too slow. I might as well Flowstate. That way, at least I'm clearing the chaff. All right, let's see if I can find it. Well, let's think about this. I could cantrip into cantrip, shuffle. I almost passed priority there and like lost my mana. Luckily, there was that mana warning. That mana warning saved me. You can't undo an MTGO, much to my chagrin. You can't undo your ponders. You can't do anything. You can undo your LED, but you can't undo your ponder stacking for some reason. Okay, it forces you to play extremely tight, which is great practice. So, Flowstate is better. No, there's like a very small chance that we do have to like double cantrip here. Okay, and this is precisely what I was talking about. So I'm going to put back the Stormchaser talent and the Bobble, I guess. Bobble is just free to draw through. I want Flowstate for next turn if I survive. I didn't find a fetch. So I'm going to ponder, and again, I've got 3 outs. 3 outs to survive. Otter's getting huge if I do get to attack, but it's pointless if I can't deal with the giant guy. Okay, so we're any order shuffling this. Do we get the Boomerang Basics? We don't. Good game. All right, so my opponent can probably surmise that I have an out there. So in this matchup, I don't think Null Rod is... I think Null Rod's a trap. You don't play Null Rod against lands. Force of Negation comes in. Brazen Borrower comes in. Bowmasters is not good against lands. Fatal Push can come out completely. That way we can keep our Thoughtseize. We're on the play. Thoughtseize is not terrible. So we brought in Brazen Borrower as answer number 4. Days may seem atrocious against them, and we might cut it for round 3. But I do think it's better. Yeah, because they were very aggressive there. I'm gonna do it like this. Having a nice robust mana base with both basic types and just like lots of lands is very nice, even though we're like very low to the ground. Because we have this mana intensive endgame and Stormchaser talent. This is a keep. This is a very strong keep. It doesn't do anything proactive, but we can just answer so many things. They're mulling to 6. I'm going to play up this Spell Bomb immediately. I'm not going to mess around. Because if they have like a diamond hand... no, actually, it's better tactically to conceal it. It is better to conceal it. But it's mana efficient. I want to play it up. And I'll play on basics this game. They could be playing Choke. So generally, you have to let them loam, and then you take out the loam with the Nile Spell Bomb. But if I find a Force of Negation, I don't even have to do that. And there we do it. Yeah. All right. That's great. There we do it. So I'm going to do the first stinky Flowstate just to make efficient use of my mana. And I'll take Flowstate, and then I have Force. They're going to probably surveil here. They do. Brainstorm to the yard. They're playing a cool build. Like I haven't played against blue-green lands in a long time. Brainstorm resolves. So we know they have Tamio in their deck. I don't think they're playing enough blue to support Force of Will, but they could be. All we've seen is Tamio and Brainstorm, which are both obviously like that's a 2-card combo in itself, and they're both, S tier Magic the Gathering cards. So warranting splashing. If they're playing Brainstorm, I think we can surmise that they're not playing Sphere of Resistance, which a lot of Lance players like to play. Talon Gates. I am kind of tempted to just waste this. Like I wasted their green source earlier because we have their ability to regrow. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize and see what they have first. They don't have the ability to crop rotate, and even if they do, I can force it. I can't flow state until I force something. Island cycling. Okay, that's smart because I would have definitely taken that. Carpet. I think we just take Tamio. It's good to know about Spell Pierce. They're not doing anything. They have Dark Depths over there. We don't have a good answer to Tamio. Our Wasteland is a good answer to Dark Depths. Unfortunately, I probably just need to wait a turn. Like I could just flow state again and just get a low value flow state. What are the chances they cast something that I can counter this turn? With Spell Pierce, I probably can't counter anything. Oh wait, you got 2 mana up. So I could like counter their Ponder or their Carpet. I won't counter the Carpet, but I'll counter the Ponder just to move the game along. I'll pitch force. And then I've got Force of Negation for their subsequent spell, and then I've got good flow states. But they'll have Spell Pierce, so I can't flow state anyway unless I draw a land. Yeah, I'm not going to interact with that. I think I do stop the Ponder, though. Oh, they drew another one. Well, I'll force that. I'm going to respect her. They have the mana to use her. So yeah, and then I'll keep the Force Negation just because it's good against... so that was their draw for turn. So their hand is Ponder, Spell Pierce, Depths. If I draw a land, I can flow state. Otherwise, I can't do anything. They may Ponder here. Looks like they are. I am not going to stop that. Again, I have good flow state if I find a land. Something proactive would be nice too, because my opponent is just over there like banking value. They got a 2-for-1 here. Okay. I'm going to play this out and I'm going to flow. I'm going to flow like this. Can't you flow like I do? Brazen Borrower seems insane. Stormchaser Talon's great too. All right, and we can't play either of these this turn, but they pitched a Force and we can nuke their graveyard. Again, I'm just respecting the Spell Pierce over here. Like, that's a cool, kind of like underplayed card. They have tons of mana now. They could like Lorien revealed here, which would be really annoying. I would probably just force pitching Stormchaser Talent. They have a flow state of their own. It's good for 2 cards. Do I want to burn one of my best sideboard cards here? They have so much mana. They have half the combo over there. I think I do. I mean, if they make the combo, it's not a big deal. Maybe that was a pun, actually, because I just need to stop their... I have their graveyard covered. Yeah, they just played a land. Okay. I think I do want to get a card here. I want to get something going. I'll have to hold this as an answer to them winning through combo. You know what? I totally could have just freaking hit their graveyard instead of force there. That was really dumb. I punted hard. Okay, well, hopefully I can still win, but that was a huge punt. Murktide is pretty good. Let's play him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full-size boy. Let's finish this game. Yeah, man, if I'd just done that, they would have gotten 1 card. It would have been way better than forcing. All right, is Murktide going to steal another game? We shall see. Depths is out. That's no biggie. Another Merc. I don't have any good targets for this Boomerang Basics. I'm just going to come across. Yeah, I can kill him next turn, I think. If I really want to. No, I can't. What I could have done is I could have Boomerang Basics this. And then I wouldn't be able to Merc again this turn. I'll play out the Brazen Borrower. And then they're dead on board. If they don't make the Dark Depths. But I can waste if they make Dark Depths. They fish the thin. 2 blue mana in the pool. Brainstorm. That happens. I don't think Spell Pierce is spectacular in this matchup, personally. They have Otawara, maybe. They have Crop Rotation. They're going to go get the Maze of Ith, which I can waste. Or they make the Dark Depths. They could have another Talon Gates, but that's too slow. What are they going to do here? Wasteland. They have another brainstorm? How are they getting all these I guess they brainstorm into brainstorm. Okay, that makes sense. So they used crop rotation to shuffle. Wasteland's actually pretty brutal because if they still have the Spell Pierce in their hand, I have to waste when they waste me. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go for this. I think they want me to. Now they're going to crop rotate again? What are they doing? Okay, yeah, now they're going to make it. But that's fine. I've got 2 answers to it. So they fizzle my Wasteland by just sacrificing it, which works. Now they're tapped out. Our Wastelands miss each other. All right, I'm just going to kill them here. Okay. That was a cool game. I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, with his days, I am certain that they're dead. All right. Game 3 is going to be hard. So we've learned a lot about their deck. I'm almost certain they're playing, Loam. I just didn't see it. Orcish Bowmaster is not actually that terrible against their deck if they're going to be playing all those cantrips and Tamiyo. I think I'm actually going to bring it in. And I'm going to cut Nethergoyf. That doesn't feel like what the fight is about. The other option is cutting Thoughtseize, but I don't know about that. The main reason I like Murktide is it pitches the force, but we may be able to just kill them with Orcish Bowmasters. I'm going to keep the Thoughtseizes in. Even on the draw, I think it's still okay. They've got enough cantrips and stuff. So we just have to hope that we get a land-heavy hand like we did last time so that we can deal with... And the fact that we're playing 4 answers... Oh, this is definitely a keep. We've got lots of things we can do early. We've got an answer. I'll lead with Underground Sea, Thoughtseize. And then if they waste me, I can go fetch the basic island. I am loving this matchup, though. Mayor of Pendrevale. I have zero interest in politics. You can be my mayor. I am not going to run against you. Trop. Do we have an exploration? We have a ponder. Okay. Huh. My opponent's deck is very cool. They've been keeping me guessing the whole time. I'm going to assume that they have so many lands that wasting them, hoping to hit, would be a fool's errand. They didn't shuffle. All right. I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize here. It would have been great if I'd had a path to a basic swamp here, but wow, that's a lot of Lorien reveals. So Wasteland's going to kind of suck here. We could take the Spell Pierce or we could just play around it the entire game. I think I would just take I'll take one of the Lorien revealed. Yeah, unless they really waste me lean, Spell Pierce isn't going to do a lot against me. Talon Gates is a cool stay alive card. They play out their second Trop. Spell Bomb. I don't want to get that pierced. So maybe I was supposed to take the Pierce? I don't know, actually. Maybe I was supposed to take the Pierce. I'll just fetch Surveil. They didn't cycle the Lorien revealed. Maybe they're hoping to just draw tons of cards. I'm happy that I have my Bowmasters in hand or in deck. That's fine. So Lorien revealed. Oh, they got a Hedge Maze. So they're just taking it super slow too. Respect. They may have a Mystic Sanctuary. I love Lorien revealed. I think it's one of the coolest cards that has been printed in the last 3 or 4 years. I'm going to fetch Surveil. They're not going to be choking me. If they carpet me, I think they're holding these because they're trying to find a carpet. Yeah, we can dodge the Delta. Thoughtseize will get another one of those. I am going to just take it slow and take those. I will play a Wasteland just out of respect for them trying to combo me. So they can't Spell Pierce here. I mean, they can, but it wouldn't make sense to you. I'll just take another Lorien revealed. They have freaking heck. Holy cow. They can crop rotate. I've got the answer. I'm actually fine if they do that. I'm going to take the Lorien revealed. That's the material. That if the game goes really long, which is looking like it'll go. And then I've got the second Wasteland. That may have been why the heck did they take that? But I feel confident that, okay, so now they can make it, but can they make it multiple times? And I kind of want them to make it. So I'm going to play this out. And then in the end step, I'll just nuke their graveyard probably, just to get a card deeper into my deck. I don't actually have an answer to them making it. I have 2 answers to them making it technically, but I think this is just a good opportunity for me to go ahead and waste here. No, they can crop rotate. I'm really afraid that they are able to... I'll just let it happen. Because they can just crop rotate into something else. This is where their experience with their deck is going to be a huge asset over me. I'm really bad at playing against these lands heavy strategies. The fact that I have a 3rd Wasteland is a gift. I don't need this card so badly that I'm going to just throw away my Boomerang Basics. or throw away my Nile Spell one. But actually, I'm kind of here for it just to get the card deeper. Ugh. It's so hard. This is just like the hardest matchup. All right, we're going to take a natural draw. Okay. Wasteland, get in there. How many Wastelands would you like to beat? I'm going to go for the Merc. I can't go for the Merc. If I spell bomb them, I could. I'll just chill for one more turn. At some point, they'll have to make a move. But it's actually like they're favored the longer the game goes on. The more they can overload my... Okay, so they have a Wasteland of their own. All right, I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it. I need to get stuff in my graveyard and draw cards. Okay, we drew another force, which might be relevant against their many crop rotations. Days probably doesn't matter here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So we have some pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll keep all this other mana up. Just nuke my own graveyard. So we got a 5/5. We ready to party? This is definitely a thinking person's matchup. Like, they're probably thinking very hard. I'm certainly thinking hard. But we have perfect information about their hand thanks to the power of Thoughtseize, which is just proving to be an incredible card these days. If you haven't seen my crop rotation sacking that, we know they have another one. I want to surprise the second one. They can phase out with Talon Gates if they make it this turn. Okay, they have so many Wastelands now. I think I'm actually maybe going to make a move on this turn. And then I'll just force the crop rotation. And then they're going to probably like start wasting me. And then I will float so I can pay for the Spell Pierce. There are no basics that they can copy. There's nowhere for their stage to hide. They could technically take me off colored mana entirely. I can always, potentially daze a crop rotation if I need to keep a land. They opt to pass their turn. Pondering here. I will allow it. They can phase out my dude when they attack in a little bit if this is still in their hand. They haven't brainstormed, so we do still have perfect information about their hand. And now they're going to have one more unknown as a result of this ponder. Even if they find Loam, it's not that devastating. I'm going to force them to do this now so I can Boomerang Basics it. If they waste me off all my blues, then I can't Boomerang Basics it. That would be like but they'll have to use the stage to make it. So it just comes down to like, when do I want them to move? I can make them move on my turn. That way I have the mana untapped to pay for Spell Pierce. Crop rotation. I'm going to force this. I'm not going to wait any longer. Like, these crop rotations are pretty brutal. It's piercing here. I'm going to pay for it. I should have actually waited for that to resolve. So if they start wasting me, I waste here, and then they have to make it. They do have enough mana to waste me and then make it. I can target this. All right, so I'm going to go to my turn where I have more power over the situation. Brainstorm is a pitch to force. I'm going to go ahead and go here. They just let it go? Okay. That's unexpected. Their hand is Talon Gates. That's it. I'm just going to attack. All right. And unless they've set up with like the ponder. Did they shuffle their ponder? That was so long ago. Did they draw through it? They didn't. Yeah, they may have like some sort of answer on top. Tommy was fine. I'm not afraid of her. She'll take a long time to do anything. They said, you got it. Oh, wait. No, wait. They said that a long time ago when I was saying, NYC Crow. I was getting all excited. They're just playing it out. That's fine. Yeah, they don't have anything going on over there. They're hellbent. Bowmasters is a sick rip. Holy cow. You're welcome to Tommy-O here. I'm just going to beat you down. I think I'm surprised they let me use the depths, but they know better than I do, like how that would have played out. I think the way we won this game was we drew through freaking Wastelands and just exhausted their hand and their options. I think that force on crop rotation was very good. We're incredibly far ahead here. They take it. I'll pass their turn. I'm going to try to wait until they crack it, and I think they will main phase the crack just to try to dig for something. All right, let's go and do this. I'm going to keep my Wastelands up just in case I need to get into a Wasteland fight. So we ping them twice, and they're actually dead on board now because I can hit for 8. They play a Trop. GG's. Wow, that was great. 2-0. They wish me luck out there, and I'll wish you right back. All right, we're up against a $20,000 deck. The Tron deck. Is this hand good? I like Thoughtseize a lot. I like the Wasteland. I'm going to keep this. Tomb. Don't chalice me, bro. Okay, Monolith. Don't key me, bro. Tez, he can go get the key. I don't like it. So I'll waste here. Or, no, I'm not going to waste. Oh, he just untaps me. Okay. Okay, opponent, you can stop. My goodness. This is devastation. Look at all this. 3 cards left. Do we have the One Ring? What do we have? Oh, another key. Okay, no big deal there. This is just like the God Hand of all God Hands. My goodness. Okay, they're done. So here's guessing that waste isn't going to be good. Thoughtseize might not even hit anything. I'll bobble them and see what they're drawing. I need to get that bobble out of the way anyway. I know it could buff the Stormchaser talent later, but I want to see what they're drawing. Drawing an Urza's Tower. Okay. It's not like they needed the mana. So if we get this on the table, we can start attacking here. You get an emblem. Okay, this is a cool ability. Search your library. Okay, so there's untap an artifact. Man, like, so they just have, for most intents and purposes, infinite mana. I don't think they have anything in their hand that does anything, because why wouldn't they have used it? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just Thoughtseize them, and then next turn I will try to Brainstorm and put back some of the chaff. Yeah, they don't have any lands. Okay. They do have the Petrified thing, Petrified Hamlet, but they're drawing land. So this can go get like a freaking... Oh, Flowstate. Nice. We can Flowstate in 2 turns. So I'll shuffle away some lands. They can search and get the... what is it called? The Walking Ballista. That's probably what they get here. Because they already have arbitrarily large amounts of mana. They get Mishra's Research Desk. They're going to play it. They don't have access to red mana for unearthing it. They might later. I'm not actually sure if that's something in their wheelhouse, like if they're capable of doing that. But Prismatic, whatever. Planar Nexus, that can produce red. Because the 2 cards they exile are Urza's Tower and... Just 2 Urza's Towers? I guess it was 2 Urza's Towers. They have arbitrarily large amounts of mana. There's no point in wasting them here. So it really comes down to... Okay, Force of Will is a great draw. I think I have to Brainstorm and then I have to Stormchaser talent after I fetch. So now we have good flow state. Boomerang Basics, not terrible. I'm going to put back 2 of the fetches. Then I'm going to fetch and drop the Stormchaser talent, which dies Decay command, of course. I'll keep the Fatal Push for now, just in case they're playing the annoying Eldrazi. It can also take out a... if they manage to find an Urza Saga, it can take that out, like one of the constructs. They're using the minus ability again. Wouldn't be surprised if they're just going to go get a Mox Opal for red mana. They are going to be able to unearth the Research Desk here. I'm not going to stop it. I may stop something they find off of it. That increases Tez's... they get here... I really wish it'd show in the log what they chose. They find the One Ring, so I'll force that. Wasteland on Urza Saga is nice, so I'll just hold the Wasteland for that. Yeah, because if they One Ring here, obviously it's the end of the game. They'll be able to do it so many times, and they're just respecting their life total here. So this has to be the Boomerang Basics, and then we have to flow state into something useful. We're not going to be able to take out Tez this turn, I don't think. Petrified Hamlet will name Wasteland. Yep. They have more. Oh, they're just thinking fully pass priority. Okay, let's draw. Oh, so I can Brainstorm into flow state. I think I just want to flow state first, because if I find no, they're not going to have anything Thoughtseizable. I'm actually not sure what I'm even looking for, but I can kill Tez this turn, but then I'm vulnerable. So let's flow state. I want to show you something. Check this out. So look, it gives you the option to add colorless or colorless, because Petrified Hamlet gives it that ability. It's so funny. I'm not saying that's a bug. Technically, it's working as intended, but I just think it's hilarious. Just like Death Shadow or Moon Shadow seeing itself being going to the graveyard and taking out a counter, even though it's no longer in play. Yeah, let's go ahead and flow. I guess I could have Brainstormed and then flowed, and then this. What does this even open up? A second. Oh, Boomerang Basics is actually pretty decent here, because I can just put this back in my hand. So I'll take these 2 cards. Yeah, I'll just do this instead of Brainstorming here. Well, if I Brainstorm, I might be able to find a force, and I'm just dead. If I don't find a force to a lot of things they have, I'm gonna go ahead and Brainstorm here. We've luckily dodged K command so far. Bobble's not bad. I can play a Wasteland next turn and just have Boomerang Basics up to get Force back. I don't hate that. I'm going to put the Fatal Push back. I'll put the Stormchaser Talent on top, I guess. I'll use the Bauble while I can, just in case they have like some flash artifact that would give Tez more power. See what they're drawing over there. Eldrazi Confluence. That's not a bad card, but it's not a great card from them here. We need to apply pressure. They can kill our dude, but we can just go crazy with Flow States and Boomerang Basics and stuff. So Eldrazi Confluence can kill our creature and can also create some scions. Excel target non-land permanent. Then okay, they're not going to be doing that. Oh, so we drew the Fatal Push because I used the bauble. I actually shouldn't have used the bauble. That was dumb. I should have waited, I think. I'm going to start with the Flow State. Always yield. This is going to be a tough match. Like, they had an insane opening, but luckily, oh gosh, these cards are so terrible. Holy cow. Daze is definitely, Daze is a blue card for Force. I'm going to take it. Okay. And now I think we just need to get deeper into our deck. Let's find a Force. They can technically exile this and prevent the draw. Well, that's disappointing. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. And if they don't minus it, maybe they do it now just to create the token and kill it before they take the hit. Okay. And they can kill both of these if they want to. But the thing that I care about is not the actual, like, yeah, there's no way Daze is going to do anything here. They probably kill both of these Otters and just create a spawn. And that's totally fine with me. Like, they removed our clock, but you know, we've got Stormchaser talent to do stuff. Please, Brick. Please don't find some insane card that I can't stop. They have a lot of mana and air and stuff in their deck. Okay, that's good news. Another Hamlet. Okay. Uh-oh. Flesh Rigger. Well, I can kill that next turn. All right, perfect. This Fatal Push is actually going to be really clutch. Thoughtseize doesn't do anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and fetch, and then I'm going to regrow a Force. By Glaring Fleshraker, then 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing this because it's just safer. They'll probably draw a good card like every other turn. We actually have Hardcast Force later if we need it, but this. And then next turn I can Stormchaser and I can actually ultimate Stormchaser talent next turn if I want to. And then my Force creates a dude. Okay. So that is scary. I do have the ability to regrow a Boomerang Basics and take care of one of them. Take this damage. Let's see what we draw. Okay, double Force hand. So I have options. One option is just to regrow the Fatal Push. The other option is to ultimate this, and then every time I cast a non-creature spell, I get a new Otter. I think that's what I'm going to do. I've never done that before. They could Ugin to exile it. That is a risk. Other option is I could just play out the Stormchaser talent, get one of these, and regrow a Fatal Push, or regrow a Boomerang Basics. I think is better. Regrow a Flow State is maybe even better than that. I think I'm not gonna, just because of Ugin, I'm gonna just do this instead. I mean, Boomerang Basics is a guaranteed card. Flow State is very good. They're not gonna be messing with our graveyard. I think I'm gonna take the Flow State. I know Boomerang Basics is like basically guaranteed extra value, but yeah, and they can make these unblockable, so we do need to be able to clear them. They play a land for turn. I'm not sure what's in their hand, but I suspect it's just another land. I will not take this trade. Got plenty of life. Let's find a Fatal Push. Playing this out first is fine because it digs me closer to Fatal Push. So I need... Actually, will a Fatal Push even do it? I kind of need 2 Fatal Pushes because they can give unblockability to 2 of them. Terrifying. Flow State and a Boomerang Basics. I don't think it matters because I'm going to take so much damage. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 7s. And they could get a skateboard. Oh, they get a skateboard. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Petrified Hamlet is a real pain in the ass. Let me tell you. Like just what Legacy needed. More stuff that stops interaction spells. If we can find 2 Fatal Pushes, we can do it. We don't. Murktide is quite big and allows me to fire back, but it doesn't matter because they'll have Skateboard and they can make both of them unblockable. Yeah, it just sucks that like I could totally interact with this. I have so much interaction, but it's not going to matter because they printed Skateboard and they printed the freaking... I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be tilted here. And if I really need an instant. Yeah, we lose. We lose because Oh, you know what? I could have maybe baited them into making it and then bounced it, and then I would only have to deal 1, but I'll just keep back. There's no point in attacking into it. Yeah. And I can't remember. Maybe I had the option of... Yes, they skateboard, and then they make them both unblockable, and I can't do anything. Candelabra. Okay. Well, that's not skateboard. Oh, of course, they've got another one. All right. They can make one of them unblockable. What is this? Okay, unblockable 7/7. So I have a Boomerang Basics, but again, I'm not going to be able to... I guess they just don't have the card in their deck, is my observation. Like, they just don't have a skateboard for some reason. They can make so many constructs next turn, unfortunately. Now Spellbomb doesn't do anything. Is there a way that I can kill them this turn? So we Boomerang Basics this. They have a freaking blocker, unfortunately. I think it starts with the Ponder. Let's see what we find off a Ponder. I can... If I put enough instants and sorceries in my graveyard, I can make Murktide really powerful, but like that has to be like a ton. 10? I'm not going to have the mana to do that. I could... No, it's just not going to work. This is an any order shuffle. I'm looking for like a Brainstorm so I can put back some of these chaff cards. That's not good. I do technically have an island I can grab, but the unblockability just completely kills me. Well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have to Boomerang Basics into something else that does something here. Stormchaser's Talent draws a Thoughtseize, which doesn't do anything. Let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's no way that I can get enough to like... Yeah, I have to do 10 extra damage. Yeah, I'll just concede. Technically, I could like maybe draw a card off Spellbomb when I Spellbomb myself. Wait, I Thoughtseize myself twice. Holy cow! So, Thoughtseize myself twice, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... We're one short. Oh, I dazed one of the Thoughtseizes. Okay. Check this out. Black. Thoughtseize. Myself. I'll daze it. Bounce this to hand. I'm not going to pay for it. Now, oh my goodness, I'm shaking. I can't believe I saw this line. I dazed myself, or I Thoughtseize myself again. No, I needed to pay for the Thoughtseize. So I could take the force out of my hand. Yeah, I think I punted. I don't think I have enough. If this reveals it might be good enough, it doesn't. I think I punted. Oh man, I had like the perfect line. Yeah, there's no way I can get this out of my hand. I'll go ahead and pay the black mana. Yeah, I don't have a Bowmaster in my deck. That would be another option. I think there's only 9 triggers, sadly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One short. Yeah, if I had not played like a dumbass, I would have this. Good game. Sorry for wasting everybody's time. My goodness. Now I have to win 2 games in 9 minutes. Yeah, if I just paid for the freaking Thoughtseize. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. You're watching me implode in real time. Bowmaster definitely comes in here. Force Negation has to come in. Consign comes in. We're basically dumping our entire deck. Man, I'm so tilted. I'm so tilted that I thought I was being clever. Oh, I don't have to pay for it, so I don't... Yeah, gosh, if I just focused on what I needed to do. Please don't punt like I did. Don't let my punt be in vain. I'm taking out the baubles. I'm taking out the now Spellbomb. I don't care about graveyard stuff here. Their graveyard doesn't matter, and they play Karn, so I don't want to get caught in Karn. Fatal Push is not actually a good card against them. It's okay. We just want the maximum force, the maximum hit power. I'll turn my Swamp. I need to trim 2 more cards. Daze is pretty pathetic against them, but like I think it's actually necessary. I could trim a Goyf, but it's actually one of the better threats. It does get blocked very easily. I think I'm going to trim a Goyf here. It doesn't pitch to force, which is the biggest strike against it. On the draw, I'll take out the Dazes. I'll bring the Goyfs back in. Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. I don't even want to post this. I'm so humiliated by my freaking, like, my last second cleverness. And that's not the first time that has happened. Like, I had a plan and I failed to execute that plan, and I'll never forgive myself. I can't stand playing against these big mana decks, by the way. If you haven't figured that out, like, this is my least favorite matchup, I think, other than like Oops All Spells. So Thoughtseize is a very good hand. They're milling to 6. We're just going to get a giant Murk down. Murk is hard for them to exile unless they have copious amounts of mana like they did last time. We've got 2 forms of interaction. I'll play against lands all day. I love playing against lands. It's fun and interesting. These big mana decks, it feels like they're just trying to like produce a bunch of big mana and like just not die in the meantime, which I don't know. It's kind of like a control deck type thing. But the problem is they have a lot of tools that they shouldn't have. Like K-Command never should have been printed. I guess that's really the only card I take issue with in their deck is K-Command. But oh yeah, there's also the Ugin. I don't like the fire design Ugin. All right, I'm going to try to keep a positive attitude. It's my own damn fault I lost. It's not their fault. So this is just take the one ring and their hand is a bunch of mana. I think I let them have lots of mana and I stop their threats. There's a tower for key. I'm not going to interact with their mana. I'm just going to interact with the threats. Okay, we can bin this. Flowstate. Probably worth keeping. And we'll put our Stormchaser out. We've got a clock. It's a slow one. But we can cantrip and get some early chips in before we mark. I can just daze the monolith. I don't think that's correct. And now I can't. Monolith's fine. You have arbitrarily large amounts of mana. Please don't Ugin me with it. One unknown in hand. So Flowstate doesn't actually do what I want it to do here. I'm going to ponder. Looking for a Wasteland, I think. That would be nice to deal with. Consign's so good. Yeah, I think I have to take this Consign. And then next turn I can play a land. I mean, it's just redundancy. I already kind of have that angle covered here. But basically, as the game goes on, like they have tons of mana, sure, but they're not going to have the ability to use it all. Yeah. Like they're gated on cards drawn per turn as long as you shut off their degenerate thing that they do. I think I do flow here. No, it can't be right. I'll flow later. I'm just going to be patient. They're drawing one card per turn. I can stop Ugin now with Consign. I probably want to just hold that up for the entire game. I pondered and I saw 3 cards and one of them was a land. I'm pretty sure I don't want the other card. I can't remember what it was. Let's draw. Ponder. I'll ponder. If I find a brainstorm, it's really good. Okay, now they're going to K-Command. They're thinking about it. They're like, oh wait, but I'm not going to show you what I'm going to do here. Murktide Regent number 2 is not necessary. None of these cards really help me. They're basically Hellman over there. I'm going to any order shuffle this. Wasteland is good. Now I'll attack and I can just force of negate the K-Command if I want to, but I don't think that's the correct thing to do. I'm just going to leave them with all the mana. I really need this Wasteland to hit an Urza Saga. If they don't find the... Yeah. This is a counter. I'll just pay. I do think they have a K-Command, but it's not that big of a deal. They're letting me untap, so now I've got Consign back up. A second flow state. Let's flow. Actually, I'm going to tap this just in case I can get multiple spells in. All right, so this will take a force and a land. We can play the land out. I can flow again. That's kind of greedy, but like I'm doing damage and I'm building my hand. I've got lots of free interaction. Take the force and the Thoughtseize. Pretty sure they have a K-Command over there. I will Thoughtseize. And if they use K-Command to just take out my dude, it's not the end of the world. They just have the Planar Nexus over there, so they were pretending earlier when they tried to K-Command, which I respect. You should be bluffing and stuff. It's good play. Because I'm at 6 minutes, they should not concede. They should just keep the game going, even if they feel hopeless. I'm just going to go ahead and regrow a ponder. No, wait. I'm just going to jam a freaking Murktide. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll get the other instant out, I guess. No, I'll get the sorcery. 5. Big guy. You're dead in 2 turns. I'll attack. I'll pass. Okay, so they did draw a K-Command, I presume. Eldrazi Confluence. 2, 3. I need to end the game. This does more damage, which kills them faster. Because what they were going to do is get rid of all the tokens on the Murktide and give themselves several more turns. So I believe the game's over. I've got Consign, which deterministically stops whatever they do. And now we just attack for 9. 5 minutes to win. I'll just Consign it. Okay, and even thinking 10 seconds there, I might die at a time, unfortunately. Go to game 3. All right, I'm taking out the daisies here. They were not good. And I will bring in the Nethergoyfs to end the game quickly. Well, let's think about it. Are there any cards here that are slow cards? Not really. Stormchaser is blue. I don't want to cut it. I could bring a single Bobble in. Again, it's really bad against Karn. I'll bring a Fatal Push in. No, I'll bring a Daze in. The Squirrely Daze. I'm not going to Fatal Push. Like, I'm just going to trust that if they can get established, then the game's over. This hand, not good enough. I want a Force hand. This is a good hand. I'll put back the Undercity Sewers. I'll just play on one land this game. So I'll force their big... Like, I won't force mana. I'll force big cards. And then I'm just going to keep hitting them repeatedly with the Nethergoyf. That's fine. Tezzeret. I think this is a force. I will pitch the Brainstorm here. So Boomerang Basics can bounce something later. Yeah, I'll do that. Because Boomerang Basics is a sorcery type. I might have just punted there. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I punted because now I've got a redundant Boomerang Basics and nothing to do with it. Not going to be bouncing there. Yeah, and they can K-command this depending on what they have. I'm not feeling good about this game. I think I punted with that pitching Brainstorm. Okay, Urza Saga. This can get rid of 2 constructs. They don't have the key yet that we know of. Okay. Come on, land. Wasteland would be great. All right, I'll play this out. I'll attack for 2 and I'll pass. If they don't have like a really good card off of this, they probably will get, I don't know what they'll get. But we might be able to bounce one of them out and then bounce the other one out. But that takes 2 mana. Okay, another Nethergoyf. I'm going to go ahead and just attack. They can make it 3. Then I can bounce it after the attack. I think that's fine. They probably won't block here. If they block, it's okay. I'm not to do it. They have to use the pedal, actually, so that wouldn't have been a safe block. I'm going to play this Nethergoyf out, and I'll pass. They are going to use the pedal to make the dude. F6 through their turn. I know it gives away information, but I just want to make sure I don't run out of time here. They can go get a key, and then they have tons of mana off Grim Monolith, and they're not getting on mana anymore. And then they have 1 ring, and then the game's over. Or Ugin, or like lots of things they could have here. I think that Brainstorm punt will cost me this game. That's my prediction. And another Urza Saga, which is quite good. So we can Boomerang Basics. Yeah, they're the 1 ring. I can Boomerang Basics the construct, but it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm not going to win. The only thing that could win me this is me being able to Bowmaster when they tap here. Just take the 4. All right, Consign might do something here. Unfortunately, it's just too late, frankly. It's too late. I could Boomerang. I'm going to Boomerang Basics this in hopes of hitting something that, like a land that I can play out so I can get a Bowmasters later. I think that's my only line to possible success. I could technically double block. The game's not completely over, but it feels completely over. I'm sorry if I'm acting like really cranky and stuff. I'm just so tilted by that mistake I made in round 1 where I threw away the match. Because this, like, I know this deck can trophy. True Tempo just trophied with it. And I feel like that one piloting error cost me this match for sure because I would have won game 2. But maybe my opponent wouldn't have played the same and they would have been on the play. So maybe it didn't cost me game 2. But game 2 was very decisive. And I don't believe there was anything they could have done if I just paid for my days. They can command my... Dude, they can grow. They create another construct. I will double block. Okay. Wasteland. I think the play is just Orcish Bowmasters when they attempt to attack. I don't have good attacks. Yeah, I think they can just run me over this turn. Okay. I feel like they could have used that mana to activate the key here. It's fine. Let's see what they get. Maybe like a Mox. No, they're going to use the key to make one of these unblockable. They got a Voltaic key. Another Urza Saga. Crazy. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm probably telegraphing pretty hard that I have Bowmaster here. 4 cards in the group. Come on, you know you want a 1 ring. Right? Or mana. And there might, like, I'm just so tunnel visioned on Bowmaster because I feel like that's my only chance is to get them, like, extremely low here. Okay, they're going to try to Ugin me, I think. Or K-command one of my guys and attack me for exactly 14. That could work too. Unfortunately, yeah, I have to cast it now. And then they can respond. It sucks. Because I have to have a chumper. They should tap their 1 ring now. They force my hand there. I'll ping them. Now I can block and survive. I have a Boomerang Basics that can get rid of one of these. They have something else coming too. They're sacrificing their spawns. Grim Monolith. Okay. So these are 8/8 now. So I can block 1. They may be able to figure out a way to like make them even bigger if they have keys. My brain is kind of checked out here. I'm not feeling it. I'm going to definitely take a walk before round 4 and try to clear my head. So I'll just jump here and I'll take 8. It's unfortunate that they have this exact card. Because I could Boomerang Basics this. I Boomerang Basics this and I attack them for 4. It doesn't matter. They have plenty. Right. Round 4. We're up against a likely combo gamer, show and tell, or reanimator. In either case, this is not a keep. It's a good hand, but it's just not a good... This is phenomenal. The card I'm going to put back is the Daze. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Thoughtseize them and force until their hand is falling apart. So here, we just take the Tamiyo. And then next turn, we take the show and tell. Yeah, I don't want them to get clues. They have a good hand. They have a very good hand. Stock up's good. There's no way that it's correct to take the stock up because they have 2. I'm in a situation where it is tempting to just put the Nethergoyf down, but they have stock up next turn. I think I'm actually supposed to play the Nethergoyf and just let them stock up here. Then I'll Thoughtseize the subsequent turn. So we can take their, like if they lead with the Ancient Tomb, which they'll have to for the stock up, then I can waste it. They're showing telling. Well, I'll force. Okay, that's great. And now we just waste during their turn, and then they can't necessarily afford to stock up. I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize them first. Okay, they have Omni. Seagate Restoration is just a land. I don't care about that. But actually, if I take the Seagate, then it makes it harder for them to stock up. Yeah, because now they have to draw a land as well. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Take this from them. I'll fetch Surveil just to maximize types. Any creature would be great. I will keep that because I think they're going to fetch a Surveil land here, and then I can waste that. And I'll just deny the mana. They need an Ancient Tomb here. If they find that, they're in pretty good shape. Hand is Omni, 2 stock ups. So I'll go ahead and come across for 3. I will play this out because it denies them a Surveil at least. They'll know that they should get a basic. We still have a lot of damage we need to do to them. If they are able to show and tell into Omni, then that's the game, sadly. They just get an island punter. Okay, that's a great draw for them because that's a way that they can do it without exposing themselves to Wasteland. I do think it was correct for me to play this out just because it denied them the Surveil, which would have potentially found them land number 3. They may very well find land number 3 here. They preordain. They haven't played a land yet. Okay, so they'll probably play the land and then stock up next turn. Come on, good card. There's no good target for this. I'm just going to hold it. If they just like float something in play, I can clear it, but I don't think this is a good draw against them at all. It's a blue card for force if I draw a force. Here's a land, surely. They cantrip multiple times. Yes, they did find a land. So now they can stock up. That's fine. It's just coming down to the wire, unfortunately. They'll probably take... I mean, who knows what's in their hand at this point? I need a force card. Yeah, a force would be great here. It may not be enough. I'm going to waste this. And I think it is corrected. Oh, I can't play out the Murktide here, unfortunately. Okay, here's my plan. I'm going to attack. I'm going to Boomerang Basics my own creature back to its hand to draw a card. Hopefully drawing a force in the process. Then I can replay it, or if I draw a... This doesn't help me. If I play it out, they know that I don't have force blue card, so I'll just hold it. And we'll see if they can win. I think they can win. They force down to 1. That's fine. Next turn, I have Murktide. I'll just hold this for now so they don't know that. The card they pitched there was a Omniscience. So if I find a Bowmaster, well, I don't have Bowmaster in my main deck. It will be in postboard for sure. They have a land. Gosh, they're finding so many cantrips. Look at that graveyard. It's a Murktide's dream. All right. Daze is actually really good here. Just in case they back to basics me. I don't think it's likely. So I'll just take all the lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could have also just brought my Nethergoyf back. That was probably actually better. Yeah, had I brought Nethergoyf back... No, I didn't have the 4th type, so I couldn't have done that. Because I didn't have any other creatures in my yard. So I'll let that brainstorm happen. 7 freaking cards. Cool. Got it. Okay, I think this is a good matchup. So Bowmasters comes in, Force Negation comes in. We don't have a reason to bring in Hydra. They're on, I think they're just on straight Omnitell. So we'll take out all the Fatal Pushes. That's an easy substitution. We can cut the Nile Spell Bombs. They are playing stock up, or no wait, they're playing stock up. So I don't think we really need to worry. Like there are some extreme corner cases where that might be relevant. Like they have Mystic Sanctuary and we can stop it, but I don't think it's going to be super great against them. Brazen Borrower is a blue card. Nethergoyf got it done. I can trim a land here. I think I like that on the draw. And then I can bring in Brazen Borrower just as another blue card and as another threat. So I haven't trimmed any threats. I've only trimmed cards that don't matter, frankly. This is a great hand. So I always like to think and look over at Marv, my tree across the street that I use for reducing Ice Drain. He's doing great. He's got lots of leaves on him. Named after one of the Wet Bandits. So the reason I like this hand is his Thoughtseize. Preordain. They're on a very cantrip heavy deck. They may be playing Flowstate in addition to stock up. All right, now we have double force in addition. So I am going to Thoughtseize immediately, and then I'll get my Nethergoyf next turn. All right, let's read this. Unite the Coalition. Choose 5. You may choose the same mode more than once. Target player permanent phases out. Target player draws a card. Exile target player's graveyard. Unite the Coalition deals 2 damage to any target. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Okay, that's a pretty cool, very flexible card that I've never seen before. It's an instant. We have Atraxa. We have Pact and Negation. I'm just going to take this Ponder, and they're going to be chilling. Next turn, we will Stormchaser talent. No, I'm going to Nethergoyf next turn. They did not draw a land. I don't think they should have kept that hand. Pact and Negation against me? So if I Stormchaser, I can copy it next turn, or I can just bounce it back to hand, and I'll still have double force for this turn cycle. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I could, be backed into a corner, like, please whiff on land. Yes, they're getting punished. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just Boomerang Basics is back, and I could get punished by my greed here, but I do want to find land and advance the game. I need to apply pressure while they're low on resources. We do not find land. We do find a bauble, which I will use to see what they're drawing and to do an extra damage. All right, so we have double force. They're drawing force. It's good to know about. So they can force through a lot of stuff here. I don't even deploy the Stormchaser talent. Wasteland might be good depending on what their land is. I actually think that maybe I bobble. Well, no, I think I Nethergoyf 2 turns in a row. They discard. Discarded card is Atraxa. They are on the Omniscience train over there. I definitely just want to Nethergoyf here. See what their card draw is. Card return is Show and Tell. Okay. So they're not going to win immediately. Nethergoyf's only 2/3 now. Bowmasters is 2 power every turn. Let's think about this. If I force anything, then suddenly Nethergoyf is huge. They can play. I think it is Bowmasters here. Or, I'm sorry. I think it is Nethergoyf here. No, because this just disincentivizes them from doing a lot of stuff. I'm going to play this out first. And if they counter it, I'll let them do that, and then I'll have the Nethergoyf parade. They don't counter it. Okay. So unfortunately, they're actually going to win if they get the mana because they have a Force and a Pact. They're continuing to brick. They discard a Defense Grid. Okay. That's good to know about. All right, there we go. That's great. So now I'm going to go ahead and I drew a Merc. So I want to go ahead and Nethergoyf here and maybe just Nethergoyf again. They'll have to win immediately with their Pact if they use it. They're 10. They're dead on board. Yeah, that's death on board. So it really comes down to whether they can Omni and do everything they need to do. That is extremely strong. So we force. I don't think we're going to win, unfortunately. They kept an insanely greedy hand, but it's good enough. I don't think there was really anything I could have done here. They pact resolves. Now I will force again. It didn't really matter that they pacted there. Yeah. Okay, so they've got Omni. They can do this thing. This is probably going to do a lot of damage to my stuff. We get F6, and we'll just see if they can win. They can't win with Emrakul. I don't actually know how they win with the Pact on the stack. Because they could take an extra turn, but they die to their Pact. They might be able to stifle the pack trigger if they have enough cards. Okay, they have 24 cards in hand. They may have like release the answer or something like that. Oh wait, they've got me at 5. If they keep hitting me with that over and over, they can kill me. Wow, they did it. They did it. Okay, so this is like their alternate win con in those situations. I'm disappointed that we couldn't punish their greedy play. Yeah, it came down to them drawing exactly the land that they needed to go off and us being 1 blue card short. And that was not due to my misplay, I don't think. I don't think there was a way I could have had triple force. I'm going to run it back. This is days. So I Stormchaser, and then I have days, and then I start applying pressure. I think it's good enough. Because their deck usually wins on like turn 3 or turn 4. I'm going to try to daze a big spell. I'm going to try to treat daze like a full-on force. Okay, the ponder. Yeah, I want to daze a 3-drop. Murktide does help me win quickly. It is a blue card. I think this is just brainstorm. Oh, that's so good. I'm going to brainstorm and see what I find. Because like Murktide is good, but like I may not need any other win cons, and I might want to just hold all my cards for the rest of the game. Ah, this is so good. So I'm going to put back the Merc. I'll put back a land. Now I'm going to fetch Underground Sea. They've got 7 cards in hand. Let's make it 6. Okay. Show and Tell is a very good candidate here. It's just they have to find another one. And they have the means through which they can find one, but it'll take them time. Yeah, I'll take that. And I hit for 3. Ancient Tomb is going to do some damage when they're trying to sift through their deck. They had a great hand. Yeah, I've never seen this in an Omnitell deck, but it makes sense. It's blue, so it pitches the force. It gets rid of basically anything. This is an incredible card if you have infinite mana. Okay, so they're island cycling. So they're playing around days, which is smart. And now they're going to preordain, which is fine. I love this build, like especially. Like I might actually try this on the channel. It is a no reserve list deck. It's not really my style, but I like this card specifically. I'm very impressed with this card because it allows you to play Pact and just win. Whereas with Emrakul, you can't play Pact. I haven't seen Emrakul at all. They may not even be playing it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ponder just because I want the forward momentum. I've got double force up, potentially triple force up. So what I'm going to do here is I'll ponder again just to do extra damage. So basically, when you have prowess, it makes it so, I mean, that's tempting. They have a brainstorm in hand. I mean, it's triple force, essentially, if they are able to go off. But then I'm just drawing bowmasters, which might be able to finish them. They might be low enough. So, like, Daze isn't exactly force, but it serves as kind of like honorary force number 3. Yeah, I'm in love with my opponent's build. I really want to play their deck. So this is just going to be a force. Has to happen. I'll pitch the Brazen Borrower here. Yeah, so they 2-for-1 me. That was a good play. Brainstorm is fine. Looking at 7 cards over there. Plotting my demise. I don't have a Wasteland for their Ancient Tomb. But they are drawing a lot of cards. That's one thing I've noticed about their deck. This card, like you draw a card so they could like draw 5 cards off this. This is crazy. I don't let that happen. Again, I'm going to hold the days with the hope that it'll at least be something I can pitch to force. So I'm only hitting for 1 here, but I am putting a Bowmaster on the stack. I can also just like, I don't think they're going to be playing Spell Pierce, but yeah. If they show and tell, I could put in Bowmasters if it resolves, and maybe that'll be enough. They had another Ancient Tomb. Okay. Well, this has to be stopped. I think I just force them to negate it rather than force a will. And then hopefully they just try it again or try something else. All right, Bowmaster is in, question mark. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have fought earlier. So I think I actually do go ahead and just Bowmaster now to maximize the damage. That's not enough, though. They can still win from here. They're 2. They can't tap their tombs, so Daze might actually be good enough. Yeah, I think I got very lucky here. They don't have a land. Yeah, that's death for them. We got it. All right, that was a great series of games. I love my opponent's deck. I'm definitely going to try it. We're 3-1, but we would be 4-1 if I hadn't punted like a dum-dum. And I'm still tilted about that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to let that go. All right, firing into the final round. Mazu, 93, very strong player. So we're up against a likely Turbo Doomsday pilot. I think I keep this, even though we're on the draw, just in case they try to turbo me. It's a pretty crappy hand. But we can waste their lands, and we can force their initial spell, so they'll have to have a protected turn 1. essentially. Okay, that's great. I'm just going to waste. If your opponent shows you this is turn 1, like I think it's general, you just want to waste. They don't play a lot of lands. We still have a force up, but it may not be good enough depending on what they have. They're fetching. They may get another underground sea. They get an island. Okay, that's actually good for us. I think I just keep their lands light with this Wasteland and they don't get to cash in the clues, but like that's bad news for like a long game. Okay, second force is great. So now I can fetch Surveil. All right, they get their clue. All right, I'm going to fetch Surveil. They may choose this time to brainstorm, but that would, I don't think, be optimal. We're dodging lands, please. Nethergoyf goes to our yard and we just bring him right back later. But like, I think we can draw better than a Nethergoyf at this point. Yeah, we can bring him back. I almost always ban him. Fatal Push, that's good. So we can Fatal Push and then we can Daze. I'm going to do that. I'll do it in their upkeep. That way, there's not really a practical reason to do that, I don't think. Yeah, if they brainstorm and they are somehow able to overpower us, they're getting a bad brainstorm at least. But now they know that I have a Fatal Push, because why else would I have like done this? Oh yeah, like my discipline kicks in and I'm not doing it in the main phase. All right, upkeep. Surprise of no one, I am going to attempt to Fatal Push here. That worked. Okay, advantage bar is on our side of the table now. They did get a 2-for-1. They can't get a swamp, so I will waste this and reduce their material. Is this Merc? Do I daze a Merc? I can have a bigger Merc. I mean, it seems kind of silly not to daze it, right? And I get another Surveil too. Yeah, I'll just daze it. Just because, like, it is a game piece that I have to worry about later. Okay, I will pay for that. Do you have a second daze? Or are you just protecting your land from... Oh, they do. Okay. So now I'll just make a bigger Merc. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'll lose my Goyf in the process, but he was not going to be big anyway. Maybe this is hasty. Maybe I'm supposed to wait. They could have a third daze. They usually play 2. Their life total is much more dear to them than mine is. So I do want to advance toward my Stormchaser talent endgame. So I think I'll do that. And I do want to swing. And I will play out the Stormchaser talent, just to make it even more clear that they're not going to be able to race me. So now force pitches force, and then we waste our land, and they hopefully can't re-Doomsday. They could be extremely... I mean, they are high skill, and it would not surprise me if they're holding a force in addition to the ingredients of a Doomsday. Okay, they can get a basic land now. They're opting to attack me. Best thing is anything I can return with Stormchaser talent to grow the Merc and to get card advantage. Bobble, let's do it. They could have a second Merc, which I'll have to force, and then I'll be vulnerable to Doomsday. They're drawing a land. I think I deny them the Surveil. They don't know they're drawing a land. I want them to draw a land at this point. I'm one turn away from Hardcast Force, which is very sad. They can't attack anymore. They fished a 5. Yeah, I think they are going to make a second Merc. Unearth, cycling. So they can make a really big Merc here, and it'll still grow the first one. Flowstate. Unfortunately, it doesn't do a lot, but it is a blue card for force. I'll let that happen. If they have Thoughtseize, they can potentially... Yeah, they can still make a giant Merc, and that would be scary. I think I've forced their Flowstate, and then I'll hold up Hardcast Force for the next one. Now they have to chump. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. I'll play this out and attack with both. It's a free attack. Okay. Do we waste? To waste or not to waste? I think we waste. They shuffled away the other land, so they don't necessarily guarantee to have a land. They may cycle this if they have the Edge of Autumn. They do have it. Okay. So they could stick a giant Murktide, and I'm not able to force. Maybe that was a punt. I figured they'd have to use the clue here. Ponder. Now they're out of mana, basically. They need like land, Brazen Borrower, which I don't think they're playing Borrower. We got it. Okay. So this is definitely a Bowmaster matchup. And I want the Brazen Borrower for Murktide. They could just try to turbo a force. Spellbomb's good here. Bobble is scary because it does grow a potential Beargoyf. I'm not playing Beargoyf myself. I think I cut all the Fatal Pushes. Because they're on Murktide, so they're probably not on Beargoyf. We can take a look at one of their recent builds. This is from about a week ago. And we can see they weren't playing Murktide there. but they were playing 4 Barragoyf in the sideboard, which is probably, like, this is almost exactly how I would play it if I were playing Doomsday based on my limited knowledge of Doomsday. It's got the Unearth, which is sweet with Tamiyo. It's got a lot of things to like about it. 19 lands, tons of lands. Wasteland is not good against them. A lot of Doomsday plays like 16 land. No petals? 1 petal. Okay. Let's figure out our game plan here. If they're boarding heavily into Barragoyf, then it is correct to play Fatal Push. We are the control role. But what we can do is potentially just Boomerang Basics, Barragoyf back out of play and win through tempo as we would normally win. If I take out the Fatal Pushes, then I have basically exactly what I need. I want to keep the Thoughtseize. Brazen Borrower addresses the flip side of Tamiyo, so does Bowmaster. I'm never cutting Flowstate in this matchup. I can cut a land. I'll cut a swamp. And then I can bring in a Force of Negation. And that will help us get through the early turns. Nethergoyf is very good here because it just applies early pressure. I think this is a keep. They're not going to expect 3 consecutive Wastelands. And if they try to turbo us, we do have the Force, so they need a protected turn 1, not just a turn 1. Tamiyo, I'll let it go, and I'll just try to manage the mana. Our Boomerang Basics also helps in that regard. Let's get an Underground Sea, and let's take our Goyf, which may be able to grow and manage the Tamiyo as well. I'm more worried about them not flipping Tamiyo. I'm worried about them getting a basic swamp here. Natural basic swamp. You hate to see it. Fatal Push on our creature. That's unfortunate. I probably have to force. No, I don't have to force. I just take a huge L in terms of card advantage and bounce the Tamiyo out of play if they try to ultimate her. They ponder. Yeah, they're so far ahead. Daze probably doesn't do anything here, but it is a card to pitch the Force. I'll chill. I'm not gonna brainstorm here. I could have brainstormed. Maybe I should have brainstormed there just to see if I could get something going, because now they get an extra card. Yeah, they're like Howling Mining over there. Dark Ritual. Barragoyf. I don't want to deal with him. I mean, sadly, I think this is just a Force. And I pitched Boomerang Basics, which is my other answer to Barragoyf, but I'm just not winning from here, frankly, if they're able to protect this. Okay, we got that. Okay, and this will necessarily get a non-basic. So my Wasteland's not atrocious here. I'm going to start with the Ponder rather than the Brainstorm. Because I'm going to Brainstorm. Okay, Thoughtseize is quite good. Unfortunately, we can't cast any of these. I'll put a Wasteland back and put a... So I have Stormchaser talent, but again, it's just not going to get there in time because we're color screwed. I'll put the Thoughtseize back just in case they try to check my hand. Yeah, I feel pretty confident we've lost this one. Yeah, they have so many lands. I can only waste during their turn, but I will waste. They can crack the Clue. I do have a Boomerang Basics. Okay, well, I'm going to do this. I don't have a lot of options here. And now we will Daze. They should have fetched before they did this. Okay, yeah, that was a big deal. But again, we're like losing this battle because of Tamiyo. I probably need to shuffle so I don't draw yet another Wasteland. I can actually bring back Nethergoyf. I don't even necessarily want to waste them. They're so low in resources over there. They're going to be able to crack clues to get out of this. I don't think Stormchaser talent is the path. I'm going to ponder here, and that way I don't have to draw the second Wasteland. I mean, Murktide is quite good, but again, we just don't have a way to use it. I'm going to any order shuffle this. I need a second blue. Okay, Bobble's fine. I'll use it. We'll see what they're drawing. Maybe we draw a Force. They can't Doomsday yet, but they can flip her. Like a single land drop, they can flip her. Okay, they're drawing a land drop. So if I waste here, they can't flip her immediately, but I actually don't mind them flipping her. And I want to be able to bring back my Nethergoyf. He'll be pretty stout. I'll just chill. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. We've got 16 minutes on the clock. There's plenty of game to be played here. They punted, and they're probably kicking themselves for their punt. Just letting me daze the second Barragoyf. So I'm definitely bringing my Fatal Pushes back in. Okay, we got our card. It's a Force. Love it. So Boomerang Basics, Tamiyo back into hand, and it's only a 20 for 1. It's not the game over. Crack a Clue. Draw. Crack another Clue. Get Tamiyo into hand. If they minus, it's scary. I think I'm supposed to just Boomerang Basics immediately. But they can just flip her immediately again because they have so many clues. Ugh. All right, that's good. So if I bring this guy back, he's pretty stout. Let's see. They could daze, which would be bad. So I've got... Yeah, I think the play here is Thoughtseize and then Boomerang Basics. Oh, wow. Well, I'll take one. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here. I guess I bounce her back to hand. Again, it's like just a moment's reprieve. But I'll have Nethergoyf coming back. That denies them getting like a ponder out of their yard. Yeah, and I need to keep this around for Nethergoyf. Their hand is 2 Tamios and a land. Thoughtseize me. That doesn't actually matter that much because it's the Nethergoyf that I'm focused on here. So that's actually good for me. And now they can play it out and they can crack a clue. And they're still doing their card advantage thing. Land. Okay. Do you have a cantrip? They have a cantrip as well. Gosh, we can't get rid of this girl. She's clingy. Oh, they're unearthing a Nethergoyf. I'm done. We saw your sideboard strategy. I'm not going to play through this. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're not even playing Doomsday. Okay, but they may switch back. But now they're on the draw, so it's less incentive for them to do that. I'm going to bring in the Fatal Pushes. I learned my lesson there. And I don't think I made a mistake. I just think that, yeah, I will keep the Swamp out. I just think that, you know, I didn't know. There was no way to know. I think Nile Spellbomb probably has to stay, and I actually probably want to double up on them just because it's good against basically everything they're doing over there. I don't think Borrower's necessary here. I mean, it's okay. It's actually our only answer to a Murktide. With so many lands in their deck, I am kind of wondering if Daze is even good against them. I'm going to take a Force Negation on the play. Kind of sucks, but I actually think Bobble is like a totally reasonable thing to take out. Because we just want to have like good stuff, and we do have just good stuff. We don't have to win quickly, we just control them. Daze is part of that equation. Yeah, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling to figure out what we cut here. These are all good. We do have a heavy reliance on Graveyard with both Nethergoyf and Murktide. But Murktide is the best thing we can do against their Murktides. I do think that this game is going to go long. And maybe they'll respect Daze. Yeah, I'm going to cut the Daze, and I'm just going to assume we're going to go really long. This is a great hand. Like, it took 2 seconds of looking at it to be like, wow, this is great. So I think we just start with the Undercity Sewer, get it out of the way. That does open us up to Daze. I could just Island Go. I think I Delta Go. I don't want to pitch Flowstate. That's kind of like my path to, you know, having the card advantage we need. Bowmasters is insane against them. I just didn't want to get like hit with like the turn 1 Dark Ritual Doomsday if they switch back to that. I can't imagine them switching that on the draw, but they have to know that like I'm favored based on our main deck configuration. Basic Island. Okay. I'm going to Sewer now. I need to get it out of the way. I have Daze Protection on my Force. I will bin... Actually, you know what? I'm thinking about keeping this. I'll probably draw more. Yeah, I'll just bin it. And because I have Stormchaser talent, but I will pitch Stormchaser talent if I need to. They're getting an imperfect Brainstorm, which I love in a long game. They could have Thoughtseize and Doomsday and everything they need. But that would... Like, Doomsday with Thoughtseize is 4 black mana, which they're not likely to have. Dark Ritual is fine. Barragoyf. So, I do think this is a force. And hopefully they don't force back. Okay. That's a huge relief. Yeah. This card is difficult for my deck to beat. I do have Fatal Pushes, but I don't have them in hand. I'll probably draw one right now, of course. I do. Come on, deck. All right. So, I think getting Nethergoyf down is fine. And then we have Bowmasters if we want to risk Daze, but they may not even have Daze in their deck right now. I need to start doing damage. I know I'm on like the long game plan. If I can talk. If they Daze the Bowmasters, suddenly my Nethergoyf's way better. Playing this deck is, I would definitely say like, this type of deck is the hardest for me. Okay, 3 mana. Is this another Nethergoyf? Unearth. Well, that sucks. I'll let it happen. And then I'm just going to go the end step. And they might have double Daze, but I want to be mana efficient here. So these are all 1-for-1 exchanges. Okay. They didn't have double Daze. Doesn't mean they don't have 1 Daze, but they don't have 2. So now, I think I just be patient here. And just attack for 2. Just in case they Doomsday, I don't want to get caught completely empty-handed. Orcish Bowmaster is a nice surprise. I don't think they're playing Bowmaster of their own. I just don't see how they can fit it in. I'm going to try this. Do you have a Fatal Push? Okay, wow, that's good for us. And now even like a Beargoyf's not that scary, but I still will force a Beargoyf. But like the hard part of keeping their life total low is going great. And if they clear this Bowmaster, it does grow the Nethergoyf. I think I just have to aggressively force Beargoyf here. I'll let Douthie resolve. That's not the fight. Bitter Triumph. I think this is a force. They're down to... they're not dead on board, are they? They're close. Puts a force in their exile, but they're not going to have the life to Doomsday me. I can pay around... Like, this is not days. So they have a force in the void. And they have a Tamiyo. That's fine. She won't do anything here, really, as long as the Bowmaster's up. All right. Well, she blocks Nethergoyf. Let's see what we draw. Thoughtseize is quite good here because it gives me a card type. No, it doesn't. But I still should do it. Okay, we took a Brainstorm that they can't use. I'm just going to attack all. They can block. The Nethergoyf, they just concede. Okay, so if I could count, that would be a trophy. This deck is incredible. True Tempo. Go check out True Tempo's video. He trophies with it. He's a much better tempo player than I am, frankly. This felt great. I'm not sure about 3 Flowstate, but that's the number he arrived at. I'm not sure about 3 Ponder. Like whenever somebody plays 3 Ponder, I'm like, really? Gotta get your head checked. Where's your head at? You know, but like really like instead of like I can understand Dial Spellbound being good, but like come on, man. And also this is like if there's any deck where you want to have 4 dazes, it feels like it'd be this. This has so many 1-drops. Like I hate to say it, but like I know Merc won us some games, but I'm just not a true believer in having both Merc and Nethergoyf. I think there were lots of games where Merc just kind of like was redundant and I had to put him back early. I don't know. Like tempo gamers will never give up on Merc. Like they always play 2 or 3. And I mean that like, but it's rare that I meet tempo players that refuse to play him, but I actually really don't like playing with him outside of Beans. Oh, because you take him out and then suddenly like you can play on basics with no fear. You could up your dazes. You just go much lower to the ground. I know that he's like a great like end game threat. Ideologically, it's just he clashes with Nethergoyf, and Nethergoyf seems so strong in this type of build because you just got so many different types. Like, how would I do this? First of all, I understand Bobble is like free to cast and everything, but like now Spellbomb main deck is just 1 extra mana, but it's so much better. The optionality. I guess the graveyard is not that, but I mean it is dominant. Like there was that situation. I think that was today in this league where my opponent Flowstated and I like forced it when I should have just now Spellbombed it, and that would have just completely, neutered or spayed their Flowstate. So we didn't bring in Massacre. We didn't bring in Dread at Night. Bowmaster was exceptional as always. Like it feels weird to play a tempo deck without Bowmasters. This is not how I build the deck, frankly. What I would do is I'd play. Okay, I'm going to show you how I would build it. This would be Taylor's version, right? Let's bring in the Bowmasters. They're just so good. Like I would play 4, frankly. Maybe I'm getting away from the spirit of the deck. I play 4 days. I'm just going to turn it into a generic, deck like everybody else. It's going to completely strip it of its individuality. I play 0 baubles, and I would probably go down to 18 lands. I just cut the sewer. I know it was good there. And then you have like less optionality for Stormchasering later. And it did come up, like there were situations where we had a lot of land, but we did get a lot of land when you're playing 19 and you're this low to the ground already. But you draw lots of additional cards with Boomerang Basics. Maybe I wouldn't even play any artifacts main. I just go like this. And then that gives you option to play Shocking the 4th Pounder. 3 Boomerang Basics is the correct amount with Stormchaser. So, I mean, that's tons of sorceries, right? You're going to get the sorceries you need. You could do 3 Flowstates. I feel like if you're going to go up to a daze, then that's taking out your land. But again, obviously, like I don't even know what I'm doing, and I nearly trophied with this, and True Tempo trophied with it. It was a good build. However, he had it configured before I started butchering it. So I would say this is like a strong contender for like as good as the bigger versions of the deck that have Beargoyf and stuff like that. Like we did beat Beargoyf in that final round. The fact that Beargoyf dies to Fatal Push is pretty significant when Fatal Push is the most played removal in the format right now. Merc doesn't die to that, but like you don't care if your other creatures, like they all generate some value. Nethergoyf comes back. Stormchaser talent, you can like do stuff with it later. Yeah, and it could be like I can see the reasoning in like Orcish Bowmaster being a sideboard card. Mr. UC played a Death Shadow deck that also trophied, and he was playing Bowmasters in the side. I love Bowmasters. It's one of the highest skill expression cards, and it's just so strong against combo. Not that we necessarily need a lot of help against combo, but you can always up your combo game. I mean, we're playing a bunch of dead cards main deck against a lot of combo. Yeah, I would probably play the 4 days and 18 lands personally. But again, I understand how that weakens Stormchaser Town. But like the level 4 is really icing on the cake. I don't think you should plan for that. That's your end game. But I do see his reasoning with the only 3 flow states instead of 4. You've got plenty of stuff to do with your mana. So I'll leave it there. I had a great time. If I had to like make some other slight adjustments, I would say like 2 Consign to Memory is plenty. I'd play 3 Hydroblasts. I'm not a fan of Brazen Borrower as a sideboard card. I understand the True Tempo has way more experience than me, but like it just doesn't feel that great. I would probably just play the instead of playing these, I'd just play the Toxic Deluge. They're freaking insane. I apparently don't own Toxic Deluge for some reason. I guess I need to get them. I got them in paper recently. Oh, there they are. They just took forever. Okay, so I do like that. And by the way, they printed these in retro border. They look sweet. I love the art on this card because it's like the elves that are dying. Screw elves. All right, and then yeah, I mean that gives you some sideboard flexibility there. You don't when you're playing 4 days, you don't need more than 2 forces. In my experience, like a lot of my decks have 4 X Force of Negation, but that's because I'm not playing days in those. Kaito is a legit option here, but he does kill your token, so I can understand why he's not included. Let's say hypothetically you stuck with the spirit of his deck and move these Bowmasters back to the side, and you cut this. You could probably fit a Merc in, but instead of playing Merc, I'd probably just play a 4th Flow State, frankly. So the reason Flow State is so good with these 1-drops is you're always like deprived of mana when you're Flow Stating, and you just can keep dropping your insane 1-drops. And this deck has like 8 good 1-drops. It doesn't have a good win con beyond that. I guess Merc is kind of necessary, so you just have a total of 10 threats, because this is threat light. You can't win with 8 threats reliably. You'll spend a lot of time when you could be capitalizing on your opponent being mana screwed or whatever, just digging for a threat. So we move the Mercs back in, and this is practically what he was at. I just cut some of the baubles. I can see the merit in bauble because it does trigger your Stormchaser Otter, and it does grow the Goyf. Maybe you could play 1. I'm not sure that Murktide is the threat that you want here, though. There are lots of other options. Like Douthie is an option. I think Douthy's really good right now, actually. He's often like a sideboard card, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do know that if you're playing 4 days, you should probably play only 18 lands. I'll leave it there. Till next time, be excellent to each other and party on.